Oh, look out now. It's the Bourbon and Banter podcast, the biggest and most honest podcast in all of bourbon. That's right, friends and neighbors. We got everything you need to drink curious right here. So sit back, grab that holiday pour, and check your feelings at the door, because we're here to lay it down for you as only Bourbon and Banter can. And yeah, while the holiday season may be here, I don't know what the hell we did. We don't have coal in our stockings this episode, but craft whiskey. I don't know what we did to deserve this, Pops, but we got 15 craft whiskeys that we're about to blow through in the most epic craft shoot you have ever been a part of. Here we go.
Well, Bob, I didn't think I was all in all that bad this year, but clearly somebody did, because what we have got before us today, holy shit, brother. I don't know if we're going to survive.
Yeah, I don't know what we did. I mean, we pissed somebody off, because this is not the kind of thing that, comes after a year of behaving properly. So we'll have to wait and see.
That's right.
But an entire, you told the folks we might do it. Well, I can't believe you're actually going to make me do this.
Well,
I don't know what I did to piss Pops off, folks, but.
Well, I think we probably need to bring people up to speed here. We are doing something very, very special today for everyone. This episode of the podcast is not only going to debut as a podcast, but also we're doing a little bit of video here today for our Drink Curious community members. And that's because we are dedicating this episode to the fine art, I must say, of the craft shoot.
And you can see Pops has that nifty, for those of you that are watching this on the video, Pops has that nifty background. He's got the green screen to be able to do that. I don't. I have the brown screen, and that doesn't work nearly as well.
I thought you had the French Louvre background, the Louvre.
No. The only French thing in this house would be French fries, and they're in the freezer. So,
all right. Well, let me break this down for everyone. We're not doing any news. We're not doing anything like that. Obviously, if you're in the Drink Curious community, you're getting a steady stream of that. But to quick sum it up, new brands coming up, most of them sourced. A lot of people spending a lot of money to build new distilleries, but today it's all about the craft shoot. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, the craft shoot is where Bob and I will try a sample of a blindly labeled whiskey. We get samples all the time. My wife is always courteous enough to take these samples, put them in the bottles, label them with a number. We stick them in a box, and we get to them eventually. We randomly try it, give you our quick tasting thoughts about it, and then we unveil what the whiskey is. We usually try to provide a little bit more background information, but today we have in front of us 14 different samples. Now, these have been provided to us from a couple members of our community. First, we've got a series of samples from Neat in LA. He's kind enough to send some samples. A while ago, we've been holding on to these for something special. And then the other set of samples are from Bob Bruner up inside, right outside of the Detroit area. I got to meet up with him about a month or two ago. Great guy, and he delivered these samples and said, go wild. So that's what we're going to do today. So we've taken the information, and we've once again employed my wife. She's put them in envelopes for us. So we're going to dive into this. We don't know if we're going to get through all 14, but we're going to get through a lot of them. We're going to try to move a little bit quicker than usual because there is a lot. And once again, it's going to be, well, really fucking interesting, I think is the right word. What do you think, Bob?
I don't know. Is that why I'm getting the on the nose, even on the bottles from Bob, I'm getting exhaust and motor oil on the nose, because these are right outside of Detroit. So, the tire marks on the one bottle, that kind of gives it away, but
Right. Well, no promises of what these are. I was told not to look at what these are until we unveil them. So I'm in the dark just as much as you are. And many tears will be shed by many distilleries, I think, probably by the end of this. And there's a good chance, Bob, you and I, we're putting it all on the line. We may learn something about our taste buds, as in we don't have any today. Because
that could be something. That could be.
Once again, I don't know if these are all craft distillers or if these are mainline distillers. I have no idea what these are. So why don't you say we go ahead and jump into this? So let's go ahead and start, and we're going to let you randomly select from the bottle numbers. So start with something from Bob's collection that he gave us. What sample do you want to go with first?
I'm going with number 5. Number 5.
Number 5 is Alive, right? You ever see that Short Circuit?
So this is Bob's bourbon number 5. Not this Bob, because we don't know yet.
Remember, don't pour yourself too much, because we don't have 14 glasses
you
on my desk.
You don't have to remind me of that, man. I never pour too much when we're doing this segment to begin with. So,
all right. So sample number 5 from Mr. Bruner.
That smells like bourbon.
Yeah, it doesn't smell young. Smells normal.
Smells like a little finish.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a finished bourbon, it might be a wine cask or a sherry cask.
I'm going to say something
Persimmon.
with rye. I'm going to go with something with rye, but I don't know past that. Let's go ahead and dive in. Well, you picked a good one for the first start. That's not half bad.
Thank you, Bob. That sounds like I'm thanking myself. No, but we're talking about Bob Bruner. No, that is not half bad at all. That is mighty tasty.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to put that on the shelf for stuff to continue to drink from the craft shoot. Currently, there is, there's one bottle on that shelf.
One bottle on the shelf, right?
And this is episode, 30 or something like that?
Oh, gosh. Nope, that's tasty. Still going to go with something rye, and I'm going to say that is well past 4 years old.
I'm kind of getting a really on the back of the palate, kind of that Sweethearts Valentine candy. Okay. It says "Be mine," or if you get the ones like people typically give me, they say "fuck off" and kiss my ass and shit like that. But
not bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what this one is.
That's a sweet one. That's a sweet one if it's a rye.
Do it. All right, this first one is going to be New Riff. Hey, New Riff.
Hey.
Right? This is going to be their 100% straight malted rye. So not too shabby. We like the boys and girls over at New Riff and the products that they're doing here. So let me really quickly pull up some information on this one real quick for everybody to see. This is Kentucky Straight Malted Rye Whiskey. It is, they say here, about at least 6 years old. All right. Well, we're not
That's the best thing I've had from New Riff.
Is it?
I have not been a big New Riff fan. No, I mean, I appreciate what they're doing, but the stuff that I've had, the bourbon and rye I've had before, I have not been crazy about. I would buy this, unless you're going to tell me it's like $200.
No, I don't believe so. I don't know how much of it is left or if it's a limited release, but we can't go too deep into these because we got a lot to get through it. So, first pick, safe bet, nothing too jarring. New Riff, 100% malted rye. I think we're both going to give that a thumbs up, and definitely would recommend it as a bottle purchase.
That's a bottle purchase.
All right, let's move on. I'm going to pick one here, and I'm going to go over to Wen's selection here, and I think we should pick out, let's do number 4. All right, this is from Wen here. It's a little hard to see. It's got it written on there in a marker. Good color on it.
Mine is very nicely labeled from Pops.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got 3 bottle. Yeah. But this has got a nice color to it, nice and dark. So I don't think it's going to be a crafty craft. Kind of like that's red. No. I mean, I'm looking at it compared to the other samples, and it's got a really reddish hue to it.
What did you do when? Jesus Christ! This is more what I was expecting this segment to go like.
Wow, that was surprising. I expect that smells young. It's got
It smells young. It smells so young. It smells of kindergarten, and by that I mean Elmer's craft glue.
All right, let's dive in here.
Palate's not as bad as the nose.
No, not at all.
It's also a little sweet.
Oh, I'm putting my money. I think we got another rye. That reminds me of that rye we just had a little bit. Not the
you
nose.
You would never guess it on the nose. No, but on the palate you do.
Right. A lot of like anise and mint in that one. Getting a lot of that here in this one.
Little chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you wouldn't tell it by the nose, but that's another bottle for me. That's all right.
I'm gonna go with bar in it. I mean, I don't think it's bad, but I don't know if I'd want a whole bottle of it.
I
think it would get a little. I think it'd get it a little much over time. I think the additive process drinking that whole thing would be a little much. But if you bought it just off the nose, you'd pass on it.
No, you're right. I would go bar too.
Yeah.
There's a little coffee on the finish there. What do we got here, Pops?
Let me get this one opened up here. Hold on. All right, hold on. Got the envelopes all over the place here, people. All right, we're gonna look at this one. This is Mr. Rutledge's work. This is Cream of Kentucky Bottled and Bond Rye.
I had a little of that a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
And I was not a fan at all. Now, this is better than what I had, but maybe it was a different batch, or has he only done one batch of the rye? I don't know. I cannot
I don't know
recall.
off the top of my head, but
yeah.
Once again, I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting and hoping for a little bit more. But that's the way this happens, right? And this is the fun part of doing the sampling. So for that one, that's a bar purchase. So far, the new riff is leading the charge. All right, Bob, pick away either side.
Let's go back to Bob, and let's go with number 3 of Bob's Mystery Bourbon.
All right.
Number 3. And these all say Mystery Bourbon.
They do, and his email is at mysterybourbon.com. But there's no website. I lost your photo, Bob. Where did you go?
I don't know.
There you are.
It just disappeared on me.
So damn good looking.
Although a lot of people will think that that's a much better looking picture of me.
All right, let's do this. Number 3.
Ooh.
Wow. It's like somebody put a mound of dirt in my glass.
Yeah.
It's like there's something there, but it like there's dirt on top of it, like it's stale, like musty. All right. Oh, me. Oh my God.
Y'all didn't see the spit take, no?
Oh.
No. Bob, we have his
bastard,
address.
You bastard.
He's in the community. We have his address, right? Oh, my God, Bob. Jesus.
Well, that glass is now this glass is now my dump bucket. Oh, my God.
He lures us into a sense of false security with that first pick, and then, oh, my God, what the hell was that? Even the water's not getting rid of that taste. Oh, my God. Oh, that was bad.
Oh, you dirty bastard.
That has no reason to be bottled. That's like light ice cream. There's no reason for that to be put into any kind of a container and sold to anybody.
All right.
Oh, that's foul. That's like you're outside mowing the lawn and you take a header into a dirt pile.
This one here, Bob, I don't know if you've ever had any of their stuff, but this is the this is the Jephthah Creed Bottled and Bond Rye Heavy Bourbon.
Jephthah Creed. Well, it's got something else that's heavy in. If it's not just rye heavy, but it's a bunch of BS heavy.
So this is 75% Bloody Butcher corn, 20% malted rye, 5% malted barley.
That explains it.
Oh.
They mixed the corn with blood, and that's how they distilled it. That explains what happened there.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
folks, they haven't been using these kind of varietal corns in making whiskey in a long time. There's a fucking reason.
Wow.
Don't do it. Oh,
all right,
God,
so that's a bust, emboldened, capitalized heading, tag H1 for those of you in the know. Oh,
I don't think that's a bust. That's a berry.
Wow. It's going to take a lot of brisket tonight to get rid of that. Holy crap. All right, Bob. I'm talking to you about you, Mr. Bruner. We got your number now. All right. I guess I'll pick now, huh? Try to save us from that. I'm going to
save us, Pops, please.
Go over to Wen. How about we pick let's do number 3.
All right. Wen's sample number 3.
My pores are getting smaller because I'm getting nervous.
Wen's sample number 3.
All right. That's a proper nose. It's a much better.
Yeah. Very light, though.
Well, anything's going to be light after that.
That's true. That's true. After you have a dirt nap in a glass, anything's going to be light.
Solid, but nothing exciting, nothing earth-shattering. Just kind of
not bad.
Middle of the road. A little bit of vanilla and caramel in there. I mean, it tastes like bourbon should taste, but there's no complexity. There's no high heat there. But then again, we got to remember. I mean, I will say this, folks. If you do a blind exercise, you're going from one random whiskey to another, right? You never know what you're going to get. So lots of times there's going to be things that are going to pop out more than they would if you were drinking it the first time. And there's going to be things that get muted because of what you drank. So we know this going into this. We're doing this to have a little fun and explore some things. So not everything's going to be perfect. So please don't send us a bunch of hate mail about we didn't do it properly. This is not a proper blind tasting, giving out awards type of situation here.
You can send us hate mail. We'll just tell you to fuck off.
That's true. And podcast at bourbonbanter.com, should you be so inclined. This one, though.
It's all right. Nothing special, but yeah. I mean, hey, it saved us from what we just had.
Yeah, I mean, this is center of the road bourbon, traditional mash bill probably. I don't think there's a lot of rye in there. Yeah, solid, good, normal, but not.
I think that's probably under 90 proof.
Not
right
super,
at it, maybe.
Not super impressive, at least for my palate. So let's go ahead and find out what it is. Okay. Oh, love it. This is a private barrel pick of Blanton's.
That.
Yeah.
Thank you. You just kind of proved our point, man.
This is
just proved our point.
This is a barrel pick that Wen, I guess, and his team did back when you can get such things from Buffalo Trace. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was perfectly fine, nothing exciting, and that's kind of how I describe Blanton's to people. People love to get fascinated because of the bottle and whatnot, but every time I put it into a blind taste and it comes in last or second to last, and about 10 or 12 members of the Bourbon and Banter team have done the same, report the same. We got plenty of posts about that. But once again, compared to the Jephthah Creed, holy cow, it was a savior pour. So thanks for that, Wen. That's kind of fun one. I'm going to have to take what's left of my sample and compare it to some of the retail, regular store pick bottles that I have open and see how much of they're different. So cool. All right, Bob, your pick.
Just because we have more of his stuff than we do of Bob's, let's go with another Wen sample. Let's go with number 9. Wen number 9.
Number 9. Oh, all the way to the end, huh?
Yes, this is the last one. So if we drink these in order, Wen, this should be fantastic, right?
You think you're safe.
Yeah, but after he just hit us over the head with... Oh, no, he hasn't hit us over the head yet.
Herbal, a little minty, definitely a rye. Decent proof. It's tasty.
It's all right.
Definitely got some more heat to it. I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just not. There's nothing really spectacular right there for me.
Reminds me of MGP rye. Nothing wrong with that.
I get a little bit of a burnt, like a burnt coffee or something on the tail end of that.
Get a little burnt orange coffee note on the finish. I'll go with that. All right, let's see what it is. Okay. So this is a Stellum rye. I do like myself.
And I've not had the Stellum.
I do like some Stellum. Now it doesn't say whether or not this is the blended Stellum rye or if it's a single barrel Stellum rye. So I'm going to go with a blend. But no, that's tasty. I would go with a buy on that one. Always a fan of the.
I'll go with
stuff.
A bar on that one.
You go with the bar on that one? Okay.
I mean, for me. Yeah.
All right. We'll come over and I'll give you another glass of a couple others that I have. So, all right, that was good. Hey, that was solid. Nothing scary with that one whatsoever.
Right,
I'm liking it. Progressing in the right direction. All right, let's move on. That's my turn, huh? I guess I've got to take us back into the danger zone, right?
Yeah. If there's another Jephthah Creed bottle.
All right, so we already did what? We already did 5, and we did 3, right? Okay.
Yep. 5 and 3.
Let's go with number 6.
Number 6.
6. All right. And pours of his stuff's getting real small. Oh my goodness.
We got to have enough in there to at least, get a proper nose and.
Ooh. I think he's doing it to us again.
Bob.
Doing it to us again.
Damn it.
I don't know what to tell you here, Bob.
Yeah, this smells like a craft whiskey.
Yep, smells like pencil shavings.
Band-Aids.
Here we go. Oh, it's not great, but it's not toe curling.
But it's not
bad
good,
like
no.
Jephthah was. This is too young. Tastes very young.
That goes in the dump bucket.
Got a lot of that kind of that licorice anise flavor you can get from when it's young.
That's kind of what I expect a craft whiskey to taste like,
Right. Just needs some age on it. I think it's just a hint of the, just teasing a little bit of like vanilla water, but just not enough time in a barrel. There's no flaws in that I can tell, but it's just too young. Just too young.
Not for me.
Right. So, I mean, what I would say is if you're going to try this, do it at a bar, but I think it needs a couple more years before you even consider it. Right?
I would agree.
All right. So this is Oak Eye Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey.
Oak Eye.
Oak Eye. All right. And this is, he says it comes from Second Sight Spirits. And I think I know who these cats are. So let me real quick type something in here. Yeah. So these guys are, it says Kentucky, but they're right on the Cincinnati border. And I visited these guys years ago. I was up there hanging out with Ginny Tonic, who used to write for us. And she took me to their distillery. It's like a little retail front. And these guys are really into magic and theater. And they built a custom still that is on the top of the still. It's got they 3D modeled a magician's turban. And it's made out of copper. And it's actually really cool. And then they run their coil for the still through a giant spear that looks like a crystal ball. And it's very theatrical what they're doing. I mean, they're making their stuff in like a space, like double the size of your office. It's really kind of crazy what they're doing here, but they are
well, if
very
they're magicians,
small.
they can't add an extra couple years onto this thing.
Well, what does it say here? What does it say the age of it is? It says ultra small batches, corn, rye, wheat, and malted barley. So 4 grain, 2 friends, and still designed, built to flavor. And it says years age. I got to zoom in here. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, they make it purposely really small.
On the website, the years aged is 1.2.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you move that decimal point, I'll come back and try it.
So, once again, really good guys. I enjoyed my time, and they know everything's young. They make a lot of other stuff that, obviously they don't have to age, which is good quality stuff, just really small. But what I did like about these guys is when they were learning to do stuff, they had I believe, if I got my story correct, they had an incident where their motor on their still to turn it during the cooking process went haywire and like exploded all over their ceiling. And so they cleaned up most of it, but they left a little of the remnant there to remind them of their learning curve, so to speak. So they don't take themselves too seriously, and hopefully they're holding back some of this somewhere. I like to see it when it gets to about 4 years old and see how it develops.
They didn't bottle it as an exploding batch?
No.
Exploding cast.
The shards of glass were a problem. Shards of glass were a problem.
You can filter that shit out.
That's right. All right, you're up, sir.
Let's go to number 1 for when.
Number 1.
When number 1.
When number 1. All righty.
So what did Wen want to hit us with at the very beginning? That is the question.
Right.
This is a lighter pour.
Yep. Downside is pouring a small amount. It's harder for me to smell it.
Yeah, but I'm getting a little butterscotch there. Yeah. But it still smells young.
Getting a lot of oak. That's a proper whiskey. Kind of sweet. Just vanilla, caramel.
Once again, nothing real spectacular there. But you notice I'm not going for another drink of it.
Oh, I drink it. I don't have a problem
I
with
know,
that.
but given that, do I want a second sip?
Oh, I'd do a bottle of this. It's a little bit on the sweeter side, but if you're in the mood for that, maybe throw it in a Manhattan, pair it up.
I'd go with a bar. Just the sweetness might be a little much for me.
Okay. I'm going to say there's something, maybe a wheated bourbon. Buffalo Trace style, maybe. Since he seems to have some sort of Buffalo Trace magical connection with the barrel pick.
Well, there you go.
All right, let's tear into it.
What say ye, Pops?
All right. Well, I'm almost starting to feel like I know what the fuck I'm doing. This is Buffalo Trace Kosher Wheat Bourbon.
Kosher,
yeah, part of their kosher line. I've never had this before. I appreciate one sending this because we talked about this at one point. That gentleman had reached out and kind of gave us a story about how they do their kosher whiskeys there. So, yeah, that's not bad at all.
you want a hot dog.
There you go. Where's Brent when you need him, right? Get a King David hot dog in here.
I got one right in the refrigerator.
Well, there's a pairing experiment right there. Save the rest of it and shoot a little video eating the King David hot dog and drinking the kosher whiskey.
Well, the King David hot dogs aren't kosher, though.
Yeah, but see, you didn't have to spoil that for everybody.
No, but I don't want anyone going out there. Look, folks, if you are in the market, or even if you're not in the market, you need to try these hot dogs. If you can get your hand on some King David hot dogs out of Indianapolis, Indiana, right after you go to MGP and tell them they should change the name back from Squibberoo or whatever the fuck it is, King David, Dinner Franks, fantabulous. Your turn, Pops.
My turn. Oh, gosh. This is going to be fantastic. All right. So we got
This is our 8th sample.
One,
folks.
2, and 3
Eighth
left,
sample.
huh? Well, let's go ahead and go with sample number 1 from Bob's set of whiskeys. Ooh, lots of... It's like somebody dissolved a Werther's or butterscotch in the nose of that one.
Wow. They did. Yeah, it is. It's. I'm looking in there. Is there a...
Well, hello. But lurking
But what?
just behind that is some young wood.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
All right, let's go. Lots of that butterscotch Werther's up front, and once again, a little bit of that wood behind, kind of going into that anise flavor.
It's fighting. It's like fighting that rich butterscotch Werther with a young craft whiskey. That's
kind of interesting.
That's
I
unique.
mean,
I've not had this before with that rich of a caramel coffee type of thing happening with also those younger notes.
I mean, it finishes really young, which I don't like, but all the way up to that last portion of it, I'd be like, I'd drink some more, right? But the finish on that just reminds me of the fact that it's got some barrel issues from age or something.
It's one of those that I would just smell all day.
Right? Interesting. Okay. Well, let's find out what the hell we have here, because it's confusing the shit out of me. All right. Rock Castle Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. All right.
Rock Castle?
Rock Castle.
That's somebody who is trying to avoid getting sued by Stephen King.
Castle Rock, yeah. Let's see here if I can find what these guys are. Rock Castle. Rock Castle Bourbon. Here we go. Out of Kentucky. And they don't really give me any details here. I'm looking at this bourbon. The bottle. Let's see if it's got an age statement on it. Zoom in, buddy. Small batch, barrel proof. I can't see anything on the bottle that they show me. And so I have no idea how old this is. But if it's 4, they need to do a little bit of work, because I would expect not to have that young barrel note. But there's something really, really interesting about what they've got going on. Corn and wheat. It's barrel strength.
That's barrel strength.
That's what it says. Distinct flavor notes of toffee, caramel, and vanilla. But then they say then they say neat or chilled, which is like everything, right? So that doesn't really help. Okay, so there you go. I mean, I have never heard of these guys. For me, that's interesting enough to want to learn more. So that's cool. I would put it at a bar pour for sure. But I wish I had a little bit more information. And let me check the email that Bob sent for me to look at after each one. No other details in that other than, it's 108 proof, almost 109 proof.
Yeah, that doesn't drink. That's
drink like
not
that.
109 proof whiskey at all.
It's cliche, right? Doesn't drink like barrel proof.
No,
interesting. I give them points for that, and I'd be interested to learn a little bit more about that one. So, once again, that one is Rock Castle Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey out of Lexington, Kentucky. All right, you're up.
Lucky number 7 from Wen. Wen's number 7 sample. If this is Seagram 7, Wen, I'm going to come to L.A. and kick your ass. Or should it be Diageo's 7? I don't know. Who is it now? It smells like somebody put their foot in this. Maybe a winemaker made this.
Put their foot in it. Wow.
Put their foot in it, man. That's
not that's not sanitary whatsoever.
No, people talk about, it's got that jammy quality. Yeah, well, toe jam is what I'm getting on this.
Well, no, I mean, kind of astringent, very herbal, medicinal. So I'm going rye again. Let's go. Yeah, it's 100% a rye.
Yeah.
But it's got a little bit of age on it. It's not a craft. It's not rung craft distiller. But I'll give you that. There's something a little odd about it. I wouldn't have gone with a foot. That would not have been my first.
Well, that was the first sniff I got was all foot.
You got some interesting foot issues. That's all I got to say. But it smells like they put in this a foot.
Put your foot in it, Dad.
Oh man! All right. All right. I'm gonna go with rye. 4-6
I'm gonna
years.
go bar pour on that.
Yeah, and you know what? I like to get judge a whiskey out sometimes by what it leaves in the glass after it's gone, and it's a little funky. All right, let me rinse that out real quick before I unveil it. That glass has got to have a chance to recoup itself here. All right. Well, I think Wen has got some stock in Sazerac because this is the Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye. Yeah.
Wen's just trying to fuck with us because he knows I talk shit about him all the time.
This is probably why he won't bring us out to do a tasting at his place because he's afraid you're going to come along. Well,
hey, what you see is what you get, brother.
True words. Well, I'm going to say this: the kosher bourbon, I buy a bottle of this. I would stick at a bar for sure. So, but thanks, Wen, for continuing to run us through that. The conversion is 6 months out. We got time to study. Man, all right. My pick, huh?
Well, I've got, yeah. Oh. And how many do you have left, Pops?
We have 2 of Bob's left.
Yes.
And I have not kept track of Wen's. So what have we drank of Wen's? We've done what, number 1? Right?
Number 1, number 3 and 4.
Okay.
Number 7 and 9.
All right, cool. So we got 4 left
I
there.
have 4 left of Wen's. So I have
got
6 total whiskeys.
Let's keep
left.
going, brother. You good?
All right. Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Where are we at next?
We're going to have to go back to Bob's. And let's just do number 4.
4.
All I've got to say is there's a lot of these samples from Bob left. So somebody's going to get a nice Christmas gift for me.
Well, I'll take that malted rye.
All right. Number 4.
Number 4.
Holy crap.
Well, that's almost non-existent for me.
Hold on. That's craft. But, yeah, it's
a little
hard,
smoky.
It's hard to pull out. Yeah, a little bit smoky, but definitely a young barrel.
If there were a textbook craft whiskey, that would be it.
That'd be it.
I mean,
right? It's struggling to pull out those sweet notes up front, almost sugary. But boom, right again, young wood slapping you in the face, dashing your hopes.
There's a little bit of grape pixie stick in the back end there.
Grape pixie stick.
I have not had that, or not Fun Dip. Fun Dip's got sour in it. That sweet, sugary, dust.
You mean Kool-Aid powder?
Yeah, but sweetened Kool-Aid powder. I was going to say Kool-Aid powder,
Kool-Aid powder,
but it's got to be sugar.
Cut with sugar.
Cut with sugar, that's right.
Right. So basically the stuff in the big container that you didn't have to add sugar to, right, versus the packets.
Correct. The big container.
All right. Well, that, yeah, I mean, that's a bar for me, for sure, because it doesn't scream like not ready, but it's still too young. Needs some more time in the barrel. Hopefully pick up some more of the traditional flavors you're going to expect from a bourbon, because the barrel's got too much prominence once you get into it. What are you going to do? Are you going to fall in the bottle?
I'm gonna if you want to try something, just to try craft whiskey, go ahead. That's a bar. But, there's about 500 other bottles.
Once again, we're talking
first.
about we're talking about Drink Curious, right? So if you want to try this one,
if you want to try shit,
skip it entirely. It's not worth it. Try it at a bar or buy a bottle. Come on now.
What is it, Pops?
No pussyfooting around, Bob. Come on. Okay. All right. I'm familiar with you. You got this Watershed Distillery, bottled in bond bourbon. All right. It's out of Columbus, Ohio, I believe is where they're at. Hold on.
The booming whiskey metropolis that is Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, now. Hold on. Let me see what I can get here. Hold on. Alrighty. So 100% distilled, aged, and bottled at Watershed Distillery. So it's all their stuff. That's good. Bottled in bond. And aged 4 years. So they are just getting to the point where they're going to start pulling out flavors. So once again, another 2-3 years. Want to recheck it. Hopefully they're holding some back for the older age stuff. That's what I'd like to see. All right, you're up.
Number 6 from when?
Number 6, all right.
This is another one that looks a little light, but now see, Pops and I were going to do this in the same place, being his house. I'm very happy that we chose not to do that, Pops, because going through 15 samples in the span of maybe an hour is not a good thing for me to do.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about? It's great. It's perfectly normal.
Not to do that and then drive home.
But
no.
Yeah, but I did offer to pay for the Uber. Let's make it clear.
Yes, he did. He did offer to pay. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I may not pay you to do this, but I pay for your Uber. All right.
Well, I've got dogs that require attention when I get home, so it's
That's
better
right.
that
All
I'm
right.
home for this.
All right. I'm digging the nose.
Are you?
Yeah. It's another rye. Another rye. Big pop of rye. I'm a rye fan, though. Come on.
I know.
love
Yeah,
a good
you
rye.
are, and I'm
I
not
love
really. I'm not. I like ryes that drink like bourbons.
Thank you. Right as I took a sip, that was awesome. That was just a wasted sip. Well, the finish doesn't suck, so I guess that's good. Let's go and try it again.
No.
Really?
That's that 95.5, isn't it?
No. It's something different.
No, that is not. That is not for me. I got that dill pickle thing.
Oh,
happening.
man. I love that.
No.
I'm
And
digging.
I don't. You know where I want a dill pickle? On a burger, on next to a sandwich, in a hero. By the way, if anybody's wondering, Christmas gifts for the heroes, sandwiches, burgers, those are all excellent gifts. No, that's right up your alley, and it's right out of mine.
No, I'm digging that one. I like that one. All right. Well, that's interesting. When we have to talk about your Buffalo Trace issue, all right, call me. We'll talk. Non-judgmental. This is Buffalo Trace Kosher Straight Rye. Now, okay, so I got to pull this up because I need to know the age difference between those two products.
Of all the stuff from Buffalo Trace that Wen could be sending us, he's sending us all the kosher whiskey.
Well, we talked about it in the one episode, and I mentioned I never had it. So,
Well, there's a reason.
I like this one. I mean, come on. I'd drink this one.
Okay.
It's 94 proof. It's the straight rye versus just the rye. The rye is coming in at 94 proof as well. And I'm just scanning here. I don't take a whole bunch of time here what the difference is between the rye and the straight rye. Yeah, I'm not seeing an easy distinction what it is. So we'll have to get back to that. But I think the straight rye has much more flavor than the regular rye. So I'm a fan of it.
Well, I'll give it to you. Yeah, I'll give you that. Now, whether it's a flavor you enjoy, it's just that profile,
Right.
And you dig that, and I don't. And
No.
I've never made any bones about that. That's why I like the 51.49 and not the 95.5.
Well, you like a Kentucky rye. You want it to taste like bourbon, just like you said.
Yeah, but and also if I'm getting that dill pickle out of a kosher whiskey, I would rather get that dill pickle out of a kosher dill pickle. Next to a
but you gotta
corned
say
beef
it's
sandwich.
kind of a fun story. I don't know. I like the dill pickle. That Rossville Union barrel pick we did a couple years ago that had that big dill finish on it. Oh, that was delicious. I don't think I've ever drank a case of whiskey so fast in my life. That was
Really?
unbelievable. Yeah.
I still got some of my bottles. Shows you.
Yeah, I'll trade you for something. Bring it over.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can do that. All right. My turn or your turn? I've lost track.
We've lost track. Well, I think.
Well, let's finish out Bob's and let's take the final bullet from the gun. Like
All right,
Christopher
Bob.
Walken in Deer Hunter. Let's take the final bullet.
This is Bob's sample number 2,
Will it be number 1 with a bullet? Probably not.
or will it be a number 2?
Highly likely. Bob, you're a nice
Candy-
guy, but you're a cruel
Candy
son of a
corn,
bitch.
candy corn,
Caramel.
candy pumpkins.
Caramel. Don't hold on. We got to drink at the same time because I'm just based on the track record. I'm expecting nice nose and bitter disappointment upon first sip.
Oh, so you want the sip?
Yeah.
You don't want me to say something while you're sipping? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I don't want you to spoil the surprise. Here we go. Still, it doesn't deliver on the nose. I mean, it's got some of that sweetness there, but once again, it goes to that weird barrel anise licorice note, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of just takes everything that was building up on the nose and on the front of the palate and just kills it. That's disappointing.
Bob.
You know what? Interesting nose. I could put that on an air freshener.
Yeah, the nose is all right. But
I put that in
no,
air
man,
freshener in my car. I'd do that.
Well, you do that and you get pulled over, and I don't have the money to bail you out, so be careful.
That's all right.
That's a bust for me.
But once again, it's not that it hasn't spent. It's got a little bit of age on it. It tastes like, but it's still just. Yeah, I don't know what. I'm gonna have to sit down with somebody who actually knows what the hell they're talking about from a chemistry point and figure out what the hell that is on my palate. All right, so this one right now. This is OCD number 5 premium bourbon from Glens Creek Distillery.
OCD.
Okay, Glens Creek Distillery, Frankfort, Kentucky. Let's pull them up. All right. Oh, look, the webpage for the products is sold out again. It says premium bourbon only the 7th barrel ever, 111 proof. How is OCD number 5 different from OCD number 5? Oh, it's OCD premium. I don't know if ours is the premium. Yes, it is. 10 to 15 barrels. They're single barrel to make 1 barrel of this, so it's a blended 111 proof. Bob, would you care to guess the price tag on this wonderful product?
$129.
Oh, I'm sorry. Price is right. Rules in effect. You've overbid. $115.09.
Oh shit! Well, so I was within what, $14?
Well, you were within acceptable range of. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Oh, what the hell, people? And is how old?
Let me go back there. Sorry. You know what? It conveniently doesn't say.
How about that?
I know, surprising, right? They've got like the photo of the bottle is blurry on their own website. It's kind of crazy. That's never a good sign, people.
That just that speaks volumes about what you're doing, folks.
In the immortal words of Tony Montoya, don't get higher than your own supply, people. Come on, take a good photo. Nope, I have no idea. I can't tell shit on that bottle. So I don't know. Bob will have to come back and let us know. But Bob, I don't know if we're going to invite you back. Or actually, you know what? I should be more fair. Bob's a good guy, and he really nailed it in the spirit of the craft shoot, right? This idea of giving us craft shoots and whatnot. But out of his sample, since we've rounded his off and to give our palate a short respite, the winner out of that was the new riff, right?
Yeah, Bob, you're 1-5. That's not a good record, okay?
And to be fair, new riff I wouldn't consider craft, but it's a nice surprise throwing that one in there, and we appreciate it. But Bob, I'm going to take a quick break here. I've got to refresh my palate, and I think the best way right now to refresh my palate and refresh my glass is to drink something a little bit more seasoned. So I'm going to pull up a bottle from our sponsor, KO Distilling Bare Knuckle Single Barrel. This is their straight wheat whiskey, which I'm a big fan of as well. And as fans of the podcast will know, we're big fans of these guys, and they're sponsors of the podcast. We love what they're doing. And we just picked this past month a single barrel of their high rye bourbon, which should be arriving the next month or two. So if you're so inclined and you want to get a handle on some of this KO Distilling whiskey, I invite you to join our community at drinkcurious.com/community. If you haven't checked it out yet, we'd love to have you there. And you will have the ability to purchase single barrels when we release them. And the best part is that all of our single barrels are sold below retail pricing, if you're a member. So make sure you join, get that perk, and we'd love to see you there. But Bob, I think you have a few words to say about our friends at KO Distilling while I sit back and refresh my palate, if you will.
Well, yeah, our friends at KO have done some fantastic things. We enjoyed being out there when we were there last year and did a lot of fun things with them. You can go to our website and look up KO Distilling. You'll see tours. You'll see bartending classes with Erin. She did some nice cocktails with them. But they've got a fantastic line of whiskeys, and this is one of those situations where, we rail a lot on craft distillers. And because we just call it like we see it. But KO is doing stuff right. They've got a 4-year-old bottle and bond rye and a 4-year-old bottle and bond bourbon. They have held on to those things to release them themselves. It's their own distillate. They have that 6-year-old barrel strength high rye bare knuckle bourbon is fantastic. And that's something that they had and that they aged in their own barrels. And they're not shy about it. They sourced it from MGP, but they aged it in their barrels, in those Kelvin Cooperage barrels. And they held on to that long enough for it to be something, because they tried it previously. It's like, we'd like to make some money back on our initial investment, but this isn't ready yet. And so we're going to wait. And we have to tell you, folks, for a distiller of any kind to do that and to not go for the cash grab, to try to get it out there and just wait until it's right, especially, one that is a craft distiller, that speaks volumes about what those folks are doing. So if you're down Virginia way, we encourage you to check out our friends at KO Distilling. You can check them out online, too, at kodistilling.com. You can take a virtual tour through the distillery. They've got a lot of good stuff. And the holidays are the perfect time to stroll through KO Distilling. Have Beryl Carlson pick you out a special bottle. For those of you who are in that driving distance down there in Virginia and the greater Washington area, we can tell you that this is a must-stop shop for you, especially around this holiday time. Because I hear Bill has got that Santa suit that he's getting ready to put on and be walking around the distillery. So make sure to go down there and tell Santa that we sent you and check out some of that stuff. But you can get their stuff online. They've got some online retailers. Go to kodistilling.com. Check them out. But a great and they also do some great Navy strength gins as well. So for those of you who are gin drinkers and Navy strength gin, you want to beat somebody over the head with a great gin, that's what you do it with.
All right. Well, my palate is refreshed because that was damn tasty. However, that was high proof, so this could go off the rails even quicker than before. All right, Bob, we have a few left.
We do. I'm looking at 3 samples left from when.
All right, good. I'm seeing 6, but I'm seeing double, so it's okay.
You're seeing double. Okay. Now, are there any other kosher Buffalo Trace whiskeys available that we have not tried yet?
Unless they've pulled a Woodford and done a double kosher, I'm not aware of any others.
A double kosher. I'm going to grab number 5.
Number 5.
All
right, here we go.
I will have you know that my husky has been down here at my feet sleeping through this whole thing.
If we can time it perfectly, that it'll howl right at the end, that'd be great.
Son of a bitch. If it smells that, it'll howl. Shit. God damn, Wen.
I can't even smell it because you just made me laugh.
Shit. Son of a bitch, man.
Hold on. Oh. Wow, that's different.
I always wondered what the asshole of a prune smelled like, but now I know. Jesus Christ,
feet,
man.
Prune it. Wow. That vocabulary work you've been doing has been really paying off.
See, school paid off for me, Ma.
Now,
oh man.
See, so hold on, but don't taste it because I got something to say here. This is different, but what's funny is I'm not smelling like the barrel, right? Usually when we're doing craft, we complain about the barrel note, but it's almost like boiled grains.
Ooh.
Like boiled grains, like oatmeal.
Oh.
Cooked grains. That's what I'm thinking. Cooked grains. I'm going with rye just off the nose, for God's sake.
Yeah, probably so. Wow. Probably so.
When you've got a rye fascination, my friend, holy cow.
I don't know. I'm never going to look at Sunsweet prunes the same again. I just feel a little dirty.
You know what I'm getting for you? I'm getting dancing raisins. That's just coming your way. All right, here we go. You ready? Welcome to Funky Town. What the hell?
Oh, what the hell is that finish?
Oh my! What?
Ooh.
Okay.
The finish almost. Okay. So it's like the finish is a stale version of the nose. So maybe it's a plum's asshole to start and a prune's asshole at the end. Maybe that's what it is.
That is. Hold on. I'd need a moment of silence here. I gotta revisit this. So sweet, herbal, medicinal on the tongue, like a rye would be. But once it goes further, it's kind of creamy. But then I don't really know how to describe this flavor that I'm experiencing. This is, I've had a lot of things that have been really funky, like different malted grains combined together. But this is makes my palate pucker. I guess like the asshole of a prune, to your point.
Like the asshole of a prune. Yes, it does.
But this is to the point that it's not off-putting, as in like it tastes bad. It's off-putting in that I don't expect it in a whiskey.
Does everybody? I mean, you didn't order assholes with your whiskey.
This is true. I almost wore that shirt, but I figured no one would see it.
And folks, if you're looking for that holiday item, we do have that shirt available at our shop at bourbonbanter.com.
Well, actually,
I didn't order assholes with my
that's
whiskers.
been moved,
sold
Bob.
Out.
It's been moved.
Sold out?
No, it's been moved. Shop.drinkcurious.com.
Oh, well, see, there you go. See,
there's some weird, you talked about pixie sticks earlier.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid powder. There's something in that realm that it's reminding me of, but I can't place it. But here's what I'm telling you. I would never buy a bottle of this because it's too weird. And too weird means I just bring it out for guests. So maybe I would buy it. But I don't know what this is right now, but this is so out of the realm of normal that everybody should try this at a bar. All right. All I'm going to say, I have no idea what this is other than it's got to be rye something.
Buffalo Trace Kosher Twice-Barreled Rye.
The joke suddenly of double kosher doesn't sound so far off at this point.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Well, when tucked this one in because I had said I wanted to try this. So this is the Leopold Brothers 3-chamber rye whiskey. Now,
3-chamber.
Yes. So, Bob, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but Leopold Brothers came upon in reviewing and reading through a lot of the old whiskey documentation that exists back in the day when the Bottled and Bond Act happened, and then further discoveries that led to the Pure Food and Drug Act and its classification in whiskeys. They found some documentation and discovered that some of the distilleries were using a 3-chamber still design. And they decided to replicate that and make whiskey that would be representative of that time period. So that's what they did with this. Let me pull it up real quick.
See, when I hear 3-chamber, I think of a chamber pot to piss in. So I'm like, here's 3 guys taking a piss, and that's what you get.
So this is 5 years old, at least 5 years old. Maybe that's what I'm getting at. So they say that it has elderflower, lavender, and rose, and chamomile. So maybe it's some of those type of aromas that I'm not used to getting in my whiskey that I'm picking up. That's, like I said, that's not something I'm gonna go to for an everyday drinker. And it's been highly lauded as a great, unique rye whiskey. But I can't go as far as to say that it would be an everyday drinker for me. But thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to at least try it. And I got some left, so I'm going to revisit that a couple times and see where it goes. But that's probably one of the most unique things I've ever had. Bob's going to send me his sample, so I have some extra coming my way. All right, Bob.
We're down to the final 2.
Bob, you weren't impressed with that one, huh?
Not really. No. But,
All right, final 2.
I don't impress easily.
All right, so let's just go with number 2. You like Shania Twain doesn't impress you much?
I don't think anybody's ever compared me to Shania Twain.
I don't know. There's a resemblance.
Oh, God damn it, when?
You don't like rye, do you? That's more rye.
I do, no, but that's not a surprise to you. So when I start this thing and I say it's the Bourbon and Banter podcast, I need to change that then, I guess, for this
the
episode.
Bourbon and Rye.
Bourbon and Rye and Banter and My and
In a world where Wen is fucking with Bob.
That's right. Wen has just decided I'm going to fuck with Bob. I'm going to send him a bunch of fucking rye whiskey.
All right, I like the nose. Good rye nose, stopping short of being medicinal.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about
it.
Palate saves it.
I like it. I'll drink it. I'll go a bottle on that one.
It's all right.
Would you go a bottle?
No.
But is that just because you don't like rye, or because you don't think it's a good rye? Assuming it's rye.
No, it's because I'm not. It's like, would I grab this and drink more than a glass of it? I wouldn't. And you know what it is? The nose puts it off for me. The palate can't rescue the nose enough for me.
No, I dig that. I drink that. I think that's a good example of if I'm not wrong, I think it's a good example of a rye character. I drink that. All right. See what the survey says. God damn, Wen, how much stock do you have in Sazerac? Tell me now. I want to know. This is, Bob, maybe no shock to you. This is Sazerac rye.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming this is the baby Saz because it does not taste like.
But you know something? I will tell you this, Pops. So I'm not against rye. I haven't had a lot that I enjoy. That JW pepper pick that we did, I would drink that all day.
That old pepper?
Or that old pepper, whatever. Yeah, whatever I said is not correct. But I dig that. I dig the Michter's rye.
Now, see, I'm gonna have to call you out because Earlier, you said you didn't like that 95.5 rye from MGP, and that's what that old pepper is.
Is it really?
It is.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yep. See? Once again, converting the masses. One random bottle.
No,
at a
I've
time.
never liked the 95.5 from MGP. I did not know that was, I thought it was a 51.49.
But to your point, when we pick our single barrels, right, we look for things that are going to be a little different than the standard.
Yeah, because that is not like that. Is no way I would have ever guessed that was a 95.5.
Fair enough. All right, so we got one sample. Number 8.
Number 8 is the only one left. Please give me a fucking bourbon.
You know, I've never met Wen personally. We've chatted multiple times, as you know, and
he's a
beautiful
person.
Beautiful person, but I'm going to lay odds that you're going to get fucked in this one, Bob.
I'm probably, I can tell just by the nose. Yeah, God damn it, Wen.
But you know what? Hold on.
No, that's not a bourbon.
No, but it's closer to a bourbon than a rye. Oh, God, just barreling ahead of me. Jeez, not even time to think. I like the smell of it. It's perfumey, a little more floral than the other ryes.
Parfumé.
Just give me a case of that.
See, but Pops, we're not used to doing this with the video actually being put out there after we're done. It's usually you and I just going back and forth, and it's just an audio.
Right.
So I'm not actually looking at Pops to see what the hell is going on most of the time. Sorry.
Right. That's right. Hey, both of us were built for radio.
That's right. We were both built for radio.
Right.
That's correct.
And it doesn't help we put these on because it makes our big ass heads look even fucking bigger, right?
But hey, you know something? It sounds good, and that's what's important for me.
That's right. And we were smart. We
If
married up young. If
Paul Henrik is listening, then you know what I'm talking about. If Henrik is listening, then he'll appreciate the fact that I wanted to sound good.
Well, you know what? I'll take a case of this and your case to boot. I'm digging this.
It's all right.
But I'm going to say that when properly got you, because I'm going to go rye again on that one.
So can we please have a box of bourbon samples? We greatly appreciate you facilitating this for us.
Well, hold on.
Did Wen send us any bourbon?
Well, he had the blends in there, right?
Like I said, did Wen send us any bourbon?
It's a bourbon, just maybe not as great bourbon. All right, hold on.
Buffalo Trace.
Smalls is killing me here. Let's round out the Buffalo Trace lineup of ryes with an E.H. Taylor rye.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. And that's why I would like 2 cases of that sent to me. My address is, well, you can reach me at podcast@bourbonbanter.com to get that mailing address. I'll happy to send it to you. Holy shit.
And while Pops gets that case of E.H. Taylor rye, you can send me a case of E.H. Taylor barrel-proof bourbon. So there is the dump glass.
Oh, see, and here's my dump glass.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
So now we have a special mingled small batch
chug it
from Bourbon and Banter. So what does this taste like?
Now,
the nose smells
hold
like
on.
craft whiskey.
Real quick, for the people listening to the podcast, hold that up again, Bob. Bob's got at least an ounce and a half.
No. That's at least 2 to 3 ounces.
2 to 3 ounces, whereas I had maybe a fourth of an ounce of that Jephthah Creed poured in. I drank everything else. I finished every pour. All right, Bob, you're tucking in. Let's do it. Come on.
That just tastes like a bunch of nondescript craft whiskey is what that tastes like.
All right, let's bottle it.
I know a lot of it is Buffalo Trace, but
let's bottle it.
What it tastes like.
Charge $175 for it. We'll sell out. I guarantee.
That's right. Yeah, we can charge $179.95.
All right. When we got a plan, give us a call. Bob, you as well. So, folks, I don't know if you enjoyed this. I don't know if this was a waste of time. All I know, Bob and I just identified a lot of whiskey that we don't need to buy bottles of. We identified a few that you should try at a bar, and a couple you can buy a bottle of. Not a lot, though. As with anything, you never know.
So, at the end of this, Pops, how many bottles ratings did you give?
All right, so I'm gonna look through the list of Wen's here. Wen's had more bottles for me, right? Because he did. Sazerac rye, he had the kosher straight rye, he had the Stellum rye, the E.H. Taylor rye. I don't think there was there. I think the only one that I would maybe not even try at a bar was the Cream of Kentucky. I mean, it was just.
Yeah,
it wasn't worth it.
That's really surprising,
right? When we look at Bob's selection, that's a much different picture, right? I mean, the new riff was really the only one that we didn't kind of curse ourselves over.
Yeah, and for me, so I have a box here of the samples that I don't necessarily wish to really try again, and I have a box of the samples that I will look forward to trying again. You want to guess how many bottles are in that latter box?
Yeah, exactly. I think from Bob's list,
one,
yeah.
One bottle is in the. I tried 15 whiskeys today. Of those 14, I'd say, yeah, you can keep them. But that new riff malted rye was really fantastic. And I'm very pleased he sent us this, because I like what they're doing, the folks at New Riff, but I have just not been a big fan of the whiskey. So I'm glad to find something from them that I really do enjoy. And I would buy a bottle of that.
Well, I would also like to dig in more on Rockcastle. Right, the nose was so intriguing, but the back, the finish just wasn't there. But like to learn a little bit more. But once again, folks, we hope you found this entertaining. I mean, we don't do this often enough, right? To sample things blind is really hard. It takes some effort to blind things and do it. And to do it rapid fire is really kind of even more entertaining. So if you get the chance, get together with some friends, invite them over, blind sample some stuff, have your spouse or child or whoever blind them up for you so you don't know, and dive into them. It's a fun, enjoyable thing to do. And we'll love your feedback. And once again, if you have a different opinion on some of these bottles, don't hesitate to send us an email at podcast@bourbonbanter.com. As Bob said, we'll read the good ones. We'll ignore the rest, as we always do. Once again, we encourage you to join our community. Once again, we think that's a lot of fun. So we'd love you to join us. drinkcurious.com/community. It's a great place to get involved with a lot of people. Last night, we had one of our ad hoc group therapy sessions. We got about 20 of us online and talked about all manners of things. So we'd love to have you there. And we've got a lot of great single barrels coming, once again, where you're going to get those below retail. And they're really fabulous selections. So once again, thank you to Wen. Thank you to Bob for sending these samples. It was a lot of fun. We really, really appreciate it. We know it's not easy to throw all this together. And it was a lot of fun to finally get around and do this. And Bob, what can I say? As always, you're the champ. Bring in your full, honest opinions, even though you, for some reason, haven't learned to like rye. I don't know what else to say.
But you know something? There are things there that I'd recommend for people who want a rye whiskey. Just because I don't dig it doesn't mean I can't recognize, what's working and what is not working. And so, folks, if you're a rye whiskey fan out in Los Angeles, make sure to stop by Neat. That's Wen's place.
He's gonna or a Buffalo Trace fan.
Or a Buffalo Trace fan. Tell him we sent you. Tell him to give you some fucking bourbon. Or if you are a rye whiskey fan, give you some rye. But he's a great guy, and he's got a very cool place out there in Los Angeles as you wait for the Dodgers season to resume in the spring.
Wow. You really squeezed that in, didn't you?
You like how I tied that all in there together. There you go.
That was nice. Well, folks, this wraps up episode 30 of the Bourbon and Banter podcast, a special edition for December. And, Bob and I, people look at us and often say, you guys aren't going to make it past the age of 28. So look what we did. We accomplished it.
That's right.
And it's all because of your patronage.
Yesterday.
That's right. So thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, folks, if you're going to drink
curious.
Well, what's your preference?
Bourbon, if you got it.
Bourbon from Kentucky.
I should certainly fucking hope so.